Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Wednesday, October 30, 2024. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for checking in on your regular current astrology. I sure hope you are all feeling happy and well and loved and whole and blessed and supported. I feel great here in beautiful Lee Summit, Missouri this morning. I'm going to forego a lot of our formalities today because I want to get straight into the astrology. You may or may not have noticed that I didn't have a video on Monday. Actually, did have a video on Monday, but my forgive me for checking my microphone went out on me about 3 minutes into the video, and so I recorded the whole thing, and then I realized that I didn't have sound on the video, and I decided, done. I'm not doing that anyway for my own well-being. So. Thank you for your patience with that. I am back today. The sun is in Scorpio, and this is a time when we are turning within. We are reflecting on our sense of purpose in the world and on the work that we're doing in the world, the efforts that we make for ourselves, for our own betterment, and for to help other people as well. And the question that we ask at this time is, the efforts that I'm making, are they an authentic expression of who I am in the world? Are they true to my heart? Are they true to the intention that I have set in making these efforts? Okay. And when we find that that the efforts that we're making, the work that we're doing, are not authentically representing us, then there's a shift that needs to be made within. We got to get rid of maybe some BS that we've been hanging on to, some thoughts, attitudes, ideas, dispositions, attachments that are holding us down or keeping us from actually expressing ourselves authentically in the world. Now's the time to clean house on that stuff, okay, so that we can be more emotionally and spiritually aligned with the efforts that we're making in the world. We can say that what we do, what people see us doing in the world, is a good reflection of who we are in our hearts. Moon is a waning crescent in Libra today. So waning crescent, we are almost to that new moon on Friday, which is not just the new moon in Scorpio, but it is lunar Samhain, the midpoint between the equinox and the solstice. So we are dipping into those long, dark days of winter, of autumn and winter with lunar Samhain. So with the moon, a waning crescent, we really have been letting go of a lot the last couple of weeks. We really have been releasing into the world our expressions of artistic or otherwise genius, right? And we have also been sort of letting go of the stuff and things that no longer serve a purpose in our creative journey, so that we can come back to, with the new moon, this clean slate, and we can look at where we are, what we've done, how we feel about it, and then begin again to imagine what it is that we're going to plan and create for the future goals that we're setting. So here at the crescent moon, letting go, just releasing, just letting it go. And at this point, I would be sort of like tidying up my creative space, whatever that is, internal, external, okay, just sort of cleaning house, so that when I get to the new moon on Friday, I feel like I'm ready just to focus on myself and where I am, okay? And also today, well, I want to take a step back to Monday very quickly. Mars is trine Neptune, and that culminated on Monday, but it's still having an effect on us right now. And Venus is squaring Saturn, and that culminated on Monday, but it still has an effect on us now. So Mars trine Neptune, this is about compassion in action. It's about looking for ways to forgive, all right? Looking for ways to give grace to other people, to ourselves, just allowing a little bit of, okay, you're human, I'm human. And the thing to remember is that people out there, writ large in the world, people are a reflection to us of ourselves, right? So it's important to remember that, because when we see in other people things that we like, we're seeing things that we like in ourselves. And when we see things in other people that we don't much care for, we're seeing that in ourselves as well. We're saying, that's something I don't care for about that person, and I also don't like it when I act that way. Okay, so understanding that helps us hopefully give a little more compassion when people don't behave quite correctly, when other people seem to, you know, underestimate us, or when other people seem to, how do I want to say this, you know, just seem to not be cognizant of how they're treating us or how we feel about the way they're behaving, right? We can give them some grace because we all do it. We all sometimes do those kind of things that we find very annoying. And so, you know, if we forgive them, perhaps we can forgive ourselves a little bit for sometimes being that way. And then with that Venus and Saturn vibe, it's a little bit about, so you've got that Mars and Neptune vibe is very much about giving grace, being forgiving, finding ways to actively forgive. And then Venus square Saturn says, yeah, but protect what you love. Okay. You know, it's one thing to be giving of compassion, to be giving of grace. It's another thing to just lay down and, you know, let people take and do whatever they would like to do. Okay. So, Venus square Saturn says we're going to protect what we love. We're going to build a little bit of a boundary, not to keep connection from happening, not to keep expression from happening between people, just to make sure that we have what we need, make sure that we're protecting what it is that we love. So those are vibes that we are coming into this week with. Today, Mercury is in opposition to Uranus. And the first thing I thought when I saw Mercury in opposition to Uranus this time was plans don't like surprises. Okay, Mercury is in Scorpio right now with the sun. It's doing that deep dive. It's doing that introspection. It's asking, am I authentically expressed in the world? And Uranus might come along and say, here's a surprise, here's a distraction. And at this time, Mercury really doesn't appreciate being surprised or distracted. Okay, so be aware that you might find some annoyance in your day or in your coming week as things come up to try to distract you, try to lead you off of your plan and off of your path. And again, there are going to be these opportunities to give a little grace and say, you know, I forgive this person for distracting me, or I forgive this event for distracting me, or I forgive myself for being so easily distracted. But I've got to get back on course, right? We can't allow that distraction to actually keep us from doing what it is that we've planned to do. Stick with the plan, friends, okay? And then coming up tomorrow on Thursday, Mercury makes a trine with Neptune. So Mars is in a trine with Neptune. Mercury is in a trine with Neptune. This means Mercury is in a trine with Mars as well, which is going to come up on Saturday. It's going to culminate on Saturday. That makes a grand trine, a great big triangle in the sky. And that is protection, okay? Mercury is in Scorpio. Neptune is in Pisces. And Mars is currently in Cancer. So that's a protection in water signs. That means listen to your intuition. Listen to how things make you feel. Pay attention to that, because that is what's protecting you right now. Okay. If you get a bad vibe, if you get a like, oh no, this isn't going to go well, you might just extricate yourself from the situation. You might just get out of there. Okay. Or you might just say, I have some boundaries that I want to express before we go on with whatever is happening here. Right. It's really like that this week. So, you know, we have to be forgiving. We have to give grace. We also have to be careful to protect what we love, and understand that we are protected by paying attention to how things make us feel and responding appropriately and accordingly to that. Thursday is also Halloween, which is also the solar observation of Samhain more traditionally. And Samhain is that midpoint between the fall equinox and the winter solstice, where we're dipping into those longer, darker, colder days of the year. And so we observe that. And it's also a time spiritually where a lot of people feel like the veil is thin. And what that means is, you know, we have this idea that there's a spiritual world that we cannot really access. And a lot of people want to think it's like up there, or it's down there, or it's somewhere else entirely. But a lot of us, myself included, think the spiritual world is right here with us. Okay, that that the dearly departed are all around us, and especially at this time of year, they can speak to us a little bit more clearly. They can observe us, and we can observe them. So, you know, those people that have shown you compassion, those people that have giving you guidance that made you feel good about who you are in the world, and that helped you feel good about making the progress that you want to make. Those dearly departed people are worthy of mention this time. Okay, at this time, okay, put a picture up, talk about them, remember them fondly. Give them your it's partly like honoring their legacy, keeping their memory alive, right? If somebody had a positive impact, then we want to keep their memory alive for as long as possible. So that is the vibe at this time, that that we can kind of feel those people, and if we can feel them a little bit better, they can see and feel us a little bit better. So why not just say, I remember Grandma Marianne, and she was such a good and kind soul, and she knew the names of every plant that you could walk past outdoors, right? Those are the kind of things that you want to remember about the people who've had a positive impact on your life, especially this week around Samhain and Halloween. Then coming up on Saturday and Sunday, there is a whole raft of significant astrology coming up on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to talk about it more in depth when I come back to you on Friday morning. But I just want to say that a lot of the messaging here is about compassion, showing compassion, finding reasons to forgive, right? It's about being gentle with ourselves and others. It's about demonstrating the growth that we have found, demonstrating the healing that we've been through, and sort of processing what we've learned, but in a way where we can process it with other people, sharing with other people the ways that we've learned to forgive, the ways that we've learned to move on in positive, in a positive light. And then there's also a little warning here about some assertiveness, about some aggression. Mars is opposite to Pluto, and that's something that's been going on for a long time, and it's going to be going on until January. And so there is this conflict in the world. We see it on the news every night, right? There is this conflict out in the world, and there might be some conflict in our personal lives as well. So acknowledging that is present is important, in terms of, again, being able to protect ourselves and being able to protect what we love, and really wanting to make sure that the actions that we're taking are honest reflections of what's in our heart. Also, on Sunday comes a warning about overdoing it. Venus is going to be in opposition to Jupiter, and those are our two benefics. Those are the two planets that really want us to be, do, and have everything that we like, love, and can't get enough of, okay? They want us to have the bigger, better things that we want for ourselves. But when they're in opposition, there's that tension, there's that conflict that says there might be a tendency to overdo it in terms of things that comfort us, okay? There might be a tendency to, have too much celebration, too much rich foods at the party, too much to drink, right? To imbibe too much, but also there's a vibration of overgiving, right? We want to have boundaries around the things that we love. Overgiving or overcommitting to things that we're not certain that we can commit to at this time. So let's be very careful with that. Mars is going to move into Leo at the end of the week, and that's going to help us feel a little bit more free to take direct action, whereas it's been in Cancer and it's just been a little bit frustrating because you can't move forward when Cancer is always pushing you sideways, right? So at the end of the week, Mars is going to move into Leo. That sense of assertiveness is going to heat up and dry out a little bit. It's going to be less emotional, less frustrated, and we're going to feel more capable of taking action and showing leadership as well. And then coming up on Monday of next week, the Sun is going to be trine to Saturn, and that's beautiful, beautiful energy for showing up for your own security, okay, for taking action, for going to work on, for making efforts toward things that represent your own stability and security. Okay, so if that's going to work and earning a paycheck, then that's what that is. But when you do it, when you take action on it, when you show up for that work, the trine vibration makes the outcome that much better for you. Okay, so that is the coming week in with the Sun in Scorpio. Happy Samhain to y'all. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're feeling happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. I certainly am here in beautiful Lee's Summit. And I thank you so much for being here, for spending this time with me, and for checking in on your regular astrology. I will be back here on Friday to talk to you more in depth about coming up Saturday and Sunday. And I hope to see you all then. Thank you. Mwah. Bye-bye.